Hey there team, welcome to Smack Talk episode 1. This is a brand new exciting show dedicated to all things stock cars. You're with King James
and Huggies. On the show tonight we have an old school teams race from 1996 and 1992. We've got a moment with Nelson Hartley talking all tech stuff. We've got a feature on 971p Jadden Ward and his build up to War of Stocks, and lots more.
So stick around, make sure you don't miss a second of the action. It's quiz time. We've got a couple of good questions put together by Wal. He's a hard man, so he hasn't made it easy. We've got 3 questions today, and going to the draw. If you answer all 3 of those correctly to win this 75 Years of Palmerston North Speedway book. It's a fantastic book put together by Grant Roswell. Pictures, stories, words from drivers. Absolutely awesome book. And to win that, you need to answer all 3 of these questions. The first one we do have is, in 1968-69 season, who was crowned the first ever Wellington Stock Car champion? Stick around for the next 2 questions. They'll be on later on in the show.
Up next, we have an interview with Jadden Ward, 971p stock car driver, and his build-up to War of Stocks in Paradise Valley, Redwood.
My name's Jadden Ward, race number is 971p. We run a Keith Gill built offset chassis, run a Holden V6 built by Keith Gill as well. We're running the Toyota 4-link rear end. I think it's out of a Toyota Hiace van. The diff, ZF gearbox out of a Bedford. Everything else is pretty much the same as everyone else. I've been around Speedway ever since I was born pretty much. Dad's been racing I think since 1988. I got a mini stock in 2006 which I raced for to the end of 2009 I think. It was 3 or 4 seasons anyway. That gave me the buzz to go up to stock cars. And I gave Dad's car a run one night at Palmy and loved it. I think I got 4th in my first race. And then Dad was impressed, so hooked me up with driving his car. We shared his car for half the season after that.
What's it like racing alongside your dad, with the history he's got, Formula 1 NZ, the Ward name pretty famous around Palmerston North? What's it been like for you to race alongside him?
It's awesome. I don't really think about it though. I go out there for myself. Whenever I see him, I give him a punch off the end to tell him to hurry up. But yeah, I suppose it's good. It was good for me in my first teams event in Huntly to be in the same team as him. It gave me a bit of backup and learn what to do and get told what to do. It was good.
So that first teams meeting you had in Huntly, and your first teams race I believe was against the Maulers.
Yep.
What was the game plan for that race? What were you told to do in your first ever teams race, and how did the race pan out?
I was just told by the manager, Chris Watson, to go hard straight from the start, try to win it. But I think. By the first corner, I put me in backwards and got me a bit dazed. I think I continued to do half a lap and then spin myself out because I was still half gone. But other than that, it was a good race. I think Regan O'Brien was leading it, and I managed to spin him out. I was second to last or last lap, and then Jay Knight took the win. So it was a good first race for me.
Where did the Steelers end up at the end of that weekend?
Not too good. We were 5th or 6th overall.
Yep. But you enjoy your first experience teams racing?
Yeah, it was awesome. We went on to the Invasion the week after. I think we played second. I was leading that final against the Pumas and got taken out by Ron Ty.
It was one of those races where you'd let off the green flag. You got off to an amazing jump.
Yep.
You just kept the foot down, just going around the outside of those drivers. Peter Rees, I believe, was slowly catching you due to the amount of blockmen you had to come up against. In a situation like that, late in the race, what goes through your head? You know you're kind of on your own. Just got to go for it.
Just got to go for it. Keep your foot hard down. I can smash whoever's in front of you.
And following that, you teams raced as well later on in the season at the amazing meeting over in Miani, the Peter Barry Memorial.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good weekend. Me and Asher actually raced together that finals night in the both semis and finals. Me and him were off to 1-2 both races, but in the final I ended up getting tipped over by his dad Pete, which was an awesome ride. I got put in turn 3 and ended up getting tipped over at the end of turn 4. And good on him.
How's this season been going for you? I understand you've had a few mishaps with the car.
Oh, it's been a shocker of a season really. We'll start off with haven't really started my season until halfway through. We've had engine problems, not having the engine done on time. Then when it was done, we melted 3 pistons on the first night, and that set me back another couple of weeks. And I got asked by Rotorua to teams race for them at the New Zealand Stock Car Teams Champs. So Keith Gill, being the man he is, stuck his head down and got the engine done the night before the racing. Got it all in. He stayed up till 5 in the morning and got it going. And, yeah.
What was it like racing for the Rascals, putting an R on the side of your car?
It was actually quite good because there wasn't as much pressure as racing for Palming and didn't really have anything to prove, so it was good. But the car was still sort of letting us down those first couple of nights as it was still feeling new, having not raced much. But yeah, we got to do one team race against the Pumas, and that's really what I wanted to do, was go out with them.
Awesome.
But it was good racing with those bunch of guys that get on before those Rotorua guys quite well. So yeah, it was good. It was a good buzz to be with them.
With the War of Stocks, you had a lot of preparation to do on the car, just giving it the final look over.
Yeah.
Did you find any problems before heading up to Rotorua?
Yeah, we did actually. The diff head was missing about 10 teeth off it. Gearbox was cracked. The clutch was fucked, damaged. Bit of steelwork damage. There was a bit of cracks throughout the chassis, but we got all those fixed, and that was all good. Just gave it a clean, and it was mint.
On the morning heading up to Rotorua, you went and got your car dyno just to make sure that it was running on song.
Yep.
And it was back to its best by the end of the morning.
Yep. It was running a bit rich, and Keith Stewart out in Rongatea worked his magic on it and got it running mint again. Got it back to how it should be. Well, racing was good up in Rotorua. Drew good grids on the first night. I got all on the inside, which I was happy for because I didn't really want to be on the outside on that first corner up there because it's quite dangerous. First race I started, grid 17, and I think it was by the second lap we were in 4th on red light. We ended up winning that race. Second race was sort of similar. I started grid 9 and we won that one after a good battle with Costello. Third race up there I started pole and I managed to finish second that race. We had a good battle with, I think it's David Rumney. We had a good battle with him. I think we were top qualifier after that night with 2 firsts and a second. We were happy with how the car was going, so next morning we just brought new tyres because they were all worn out after that first night, and just gave the car a check over and clean, and we're ready for finals.
Nice, and with the finals, all was looking good for a while?
Was looking good until the last lap. Big mob of Rotorua cars waiting. I think it was Costello and Keegan Orr who ended up putting me away. It was just my brain fade and error. Didn't realise that when I hit the wall, all the ignition switches turned off, so I was stuck down in turn 1 trying to start the car with the ignition off. So once I figured that out, turned the car on, got down back straight, the orange lights already came on, which mean I didn't finish the race, so DNF for me.
Just a couple of quick fires.
Yeah.
What's your favourite track to race on in New Zealand?
Wanganui.
What's your bogey track?
Palmerston.
Anybody that you enjoy racing against?
Definitely Jay Knight. Asher Rees, just because we've grown up in Speedway together, always been mates, always been together at the track, so he's definitely up there. Dad. Ron Ty.
To sum up, if you were encouraging anybody to get into stock cars, what would you tell them?
It's the best sport ever.
As many of you know, young Jesse Bessent has an inoperable brain tumour. So rare in fact that it's only 1% of all brain tumour cases worldwide. His loving parents Shane and Michelle are doing absolutely everything they can to make sure that he gets potentially life-saving treatment over in Texas in the United States. Many great people are doing what they can to help out fundraising for Jesse. You've got Bushman Cam Kenworthy, who has grown his hair for well over a year and just done the big shave recently, fundraising well over $1,800 for the cause, as well as Greg O'Bro from Auckland, also very dedicated to the stock car scene, and he got one of his own personalised books and had that framed and auctioned that off, which raised $500 in a raffle, and that's absolutely phenomenal efforts from those two in particular, plus many others around New Zealand who are helping out the cause. And us here at Smack Talk are wanting to do the same. A few things in the works at the moment to try and help Jesse and his family get across to the United States for the treatment. There's a wicked raffle going around at the moment that's been organised by Shane Bessent, and first prize for that is the Superstock, newly built Superstock that he created. Absolutely immaculate machine, worth around $90,000 from what I understand, and what a great first prize that is. $50 for a ticket into the raffle, so just get a spare 50 and just chuck it in, could own the cheapest super stock ever. Second prize is just as great, it's a flat chassis stock car ready to race, good to go, and also third prize is a tandem trailer. Unbelievable prizes, all for the small amount of $50, and all it takes is getting in touch with info@jessebessent.co.nz. You can go along to the Facebook or the website to find out how you can go about donating some money. Every little bit helps, and I think that it's such a great cause to help this young family out, and kia kaha, stay strong, and we're thinking of you around the country.
Please donate some money to help Jesse gets better.
Round 2 of the quiz, we have this awesome 75 years of Speedway in Palmerston North book that you can win. Second question is today, in 1995 the first ever stock car teams champs was held in Palmerston North. Who were the two teams that were in the final that year?
And now some tech talk with a moment with Nelson.
Well, I've been racing for about 20 years now. I started when I was 6 and I'm now 27. So I do a lot of racing myself, currently race Speedway sprint car. Our main involvement is engines. We do a lot of stock car and super stock engines. That's our main business. We build engines for all sorts of other things. We do a lot of machining. This is one of our machine centres, a CNC machine, 4-axis. And we build engines for like our super stocks for likes of Peter Rees and Shane Penn and Chad Ace, and we win a lot of championships. It's something we're quite passionate about. My father and I have been running the business for quite some time now. And it just sort of continues on and on. We give a lot to Speedway and it gives a lot back to us. And it's a pretty cool sport, and I see the crowd love it, so everything's going quite well there. I would take this as an example. This is a Holden V6. It's going to be a stock car motor. It'll probably end up in a brand new Peter Rees chassis. We seem to do a lot of motors for him. He puts people onto us, and he's a good guy, so we put people onto him. And stock car is meant to be a low budget form of speedway racing by comparison to say a super stock. So there's a lot of standard parts in this, a standard crankshaft, standard block, standard covers, harmonic balancer and so on. But as you can see, it's got brand new forged pistons. The head modifications are extensive. We make our own carburetor from scratch for them, which is sort of way over the top really for a stock car. We're actually pushing to get electronic fuel injection as well as ignition, which we already use, into the sport because we think it'll make it cheaper. Well, the jury's out on that. It definitely will make it cheaper, more reliable, fairer. But that's what this is going to end up. It's going to end up as a carbureted stock car motor, hopefully as an injected one if the rules go through at some stage. And it's meant to be a cheap motor, and it is. They're really reliable. They make more than enough horsepower, and I think we're leading the bit industry in this side of it as well. But yeah, that's what it looks like to start with. It'll soon have a brand new set of heads and manifold and carburetor going, and then we'll dyno it for an hour and send it off to a customer. So what we've got here is a shock dyno. It's a machine. I place a shock in it, any kind of shock, and it simulates the track to any sort of degree. I can measure really high speeds, really low speeds, low travel, high travel. And what we end up with is a graph like what we see here. So this tells us a little bit about a shock, tells us what it's doing at certain speeds, how much force it requires. The idea of a shock is to control, is it's a force versus velocity versus a spring, which is just a force versus position. So as a spring compresses, it requires more energy to compress it. A shock's slightly different. It requires a certain amount of force to compress it at a certain amount of speed, regardless of its position. So how that controls the car is it really controls how fast the car dives or how fast the car lifts, or slow. You might want a car to dive down in the front and then stay down, so you'd add a lot of rebound to it. And what we do is we pull the shock to bits, a million bits. We've got little valves and stuff inside them. They're typically oil filled, and then we modify them, put them back together, and then we test them and we have a look at the graph to see what that's doing to the shock physically, and then we put it on a race car and see how to fix it, hopefully always making an improvement. It's a massive art, it's hugely time consuming, and it's something that we're getting better and better at, and the cars we work on are getting faster and faster because of it. It's something that's been overlooked in Speedway for a long time, particularly in the stock car and super stock ranks. Recently you see a lot of super stocks coming out with single, double, triple adjustable shocks on them. That's for a good reason, because they're massively better than the old ex-road car shocks that a lot of people were running for the last 10 years, and that's why the cars are getting quicker and quicker. That's why they're becoming worth more money as well, unfortunately, but that's the way motorsport goes, and it's the way circuit racing's been for a long time. And now Speedway's catching up, our shock technology is getting better. One thing on the subject of super stocks is some of the chassis geometry is far superior to what you would see in, say, a sprint car or a midget car. They're very basic in suspension. A lot of the super stocks have really evolved to be something quite special in suspension. They carry a massive amount of weight, they've got a lot of horsepower, and they've got no tyre, so how they've evolved to generate grip on a slick track is actually quite impressive from the people who aren't even engineers are designing them and making them go well, and I think it's actually quite a credit to Speedway for what they've achieved with the chassis there. And we're helping out with the shocks, hopefully making everyone go quicker.
Welcome back, guys. We've got something really exciting in the works at the moment, and really grateful to our good friend Paul Kirk out of Kaiapoi, who's allowed us to use a lot of his old Teams Champs footage from Palmerston North, dating back from 1992 right up until 2001. We're very grateful. I want to thank you for coming on board and letting this happen. So we've got a special treat lined up today, and one of the qualifying races from the 1992 Teams Champs between the Hawke's Bay Hawkeyes and the Stratford Scrappers, and as you're about to see, it's one kick-ass teams race.
Behind the current New Zealand champion, Barry Bajewski there, up alongside of him, number 39, Greg Johnson, we've been talking about him before. He's the current 141 world champ. Then number 110, alongside of him, number 29, Paul Kirk, current North Island champion as well. Champion for this one. Brian Clinton McDonald at 96, Murray Long. Clinton McDonald from Stratford, number 96, Murray Long, Hawke's Bay. The opposite edges of the North Island. Hawke's
Hope you all enjoyed that qualifying heat between the Hawkeyes and the Scrappers, and what a tight race it was with the Scrappers just scraping in there. It really does go to show what a great driver 39S Greg Johnston was over the years. Instrumental for the Scrappers back then, and very unlucky to not win an individual title along the way. But as you can see there, a dangerous man, and it's no surprise why the Stratford Gladiators won the 1997 team's title. Welcome back to Smack Talk. Now, for many fans out there around New Zealand, you've been lucky enough to witness some great teams racing over the last month. There's some amazing teams that have been on the track. 4 of them that we'd like to single out now is the Manawatu Mustangs, Palmerston North Panthers, the reigning champions for both Auckland and Palmerston North for many years now, and of course the Nelson Tigers, and welcome back to the Bay Park Bustards. So just starting with the Manawatu Mustangs, Huggies, what are your thoughts on that team?
Asher and Jack, young guys, big balls, a point to prove, and they're proving it. I mean, let's be honest, they're probably the 2 standout drivers from the Superstock Teams Champs.
I think also as well the other drivers in that team, most notably Kerry Humphreys and Simon Joblin, who's become quite the enforcer ever since that 2010 New Zealand champs in Kihikiti, has really come a long way, and Kerry races with a pretty cool head most of the time as well, and I think it's only a matter of time before they take a title.
I can see Jack and Asher both moving up to the Panthers. I mean, it's only a matter of time before father and son combo are representing the Panthers. They've only been in the sport about 2 or 3 seasons in Superstocks, and they're already proving some of the guys that have been around for 10 years.
Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Jack is what I like to think is the cool, calm and composed driver of the 2. He's exceptional. He knows how to keep the driver on his back bumper, and he can be aggressive when he needs to be. He's very calculated about it. With Asher as well, he's racing with his balls right up there on the dash. He just sees red and just goes for it, and I mean that works well for the Mustangs at the moment.
On the next topic, you got the Nelson Tigers, top of the South for I don't know how many years. They've got awesome cars. They've probably had the same team for longer than most, second to the Panthers maybe.
You got to wonder how long Dale Evers is going to continue driving for. I mean, he is certainly the mainstay in that team. That team depends on him a lot over the years, but whether or not he's going to keep driving is the question. But I'd love to see Dale Jr. in there. He's an exciting talent, and I think it's at that time where the Tigers need some young blood to really come through and just race around the outside.
Dale McKenzie, current 2NZ. Brand new Higgins chassis this season. CHS Toyota, which is the best of both worlds. He's absolutely flying. I mean, you look at Nelson and he's so passionate about Speedway. You saw him after that repecharge. Awesome to see. It's only a matter of time before he's probably their mainstay. I mean, you got guys like Jared Gray. He's been out there for a long time. But
Loves getting it sideways.
Yeah.
Loves full steaming straight into the side of someone.
Just an absolute maggot behind the wheel, and that's what passionate Speedway people like to see. Right.
Palmerston North Panthers as well. You know, I'm a big fan, have been for many years since I was knee-high. Speaking of which, back then, you know, Scott Myers was still around when I was first getting into the Palmerston North Panthers when he took that title back in 1992, along the likes of with the likes of Bill Dawn and Parksy and Evans. The Panthers, I mean, what else can you say? You can't say much. They're just a complete lineup. They are beatable. However, they just show time and time again that they are who they are, and for good reason.
Exactly. I mean, you got the Peter show, Peter Bessent, Peter Rees, probably the 2 best blockers in the country. I mean, the only person I put on par would be Scott Myers. I mean, how long's he been teams racing for? It's been bloody, years.
It comes down to that experience, and they know what each other's going to do, and if the plan goes straight out the window within the first lap, all 5 of those drivers can take care of the business. I think the big point of the Panthers at the moment this year was Scott Joblin, how far he came along.
I mean, it's been, 2 or 3 seasons? And he's coming to the team, full guns blazing. You see him time and time again pull something miraculously out of his ass. I mean, he's committed, he's eager, he's got a car that's reliable, fast, strong, quick and light. I mean, what more could you want from another driver?
I think he really showed his class in 2013, and he'll definitely be a mainstay for years to come. And quite excited to talk about the Bay Park Busters. As a matter of fact, I really hope that all the fans in Tauranga, as well as New Zealand, really embrace their return to Speedway. It was absolutely amazing to see, and when I heard the news, I was very excited. What a great bunch of drivers to have as part of that team. Absolute animal. Didn't get the results they probably hoped for in Palmerston North with fourth, but they moved up the ladder and got third place in Auckland, and that's a real credit to them. When they made their return in 2002, they also stumbled a little bit there as well and fell to third place at that meeting, and then 2003 and 2004 they came back and went back-to-back champions, and probably should have done it in 05 as well. And I really do hope the core of that team sticks together and that they do things over again in 2014. The third and final question we have here for you today to win the awesome Palmerston North Speedway 75 years book is, many moons ago there used to be a driver who used to use bulldozer levers to get his way around the track. What was the name of this driver and the number? Now you got to do your homework on this. There's plenty of photos out there, plenty of information to try and track down these answers. So do a bit of homework, get in touch with us on Facebook, a private message, and all correct answers will go into the draw to win that book. Now's a chance for you guys to get involved in our first poll that we're hosting here at Smack Talk, using the great footage that's been provided to us from Aaron, Wall and Mentl. We've got some great rollovers that you're about to see now. There's 7 rollovers there for the best rollover of 2012 season, we're calling it. And anyone who does go in and vote on the poll for the best rollover can win this March edition of the Dirt Track magazine, as well as April's edition. So check these out. Thanks a lot for watching the first edition of Smack Talk. I was really honoured that you've joined us for this, and I just want to take the time right now to first of all thanks Huggies for all the hard work that he's put in over the last couple of weeks. So 21 days ago at the time of filming, this was just an idea, and then we've just gone out and done it. It was a bit of fun. You might not like it, you might like it, but we're just doing it for the love of stock cars and Speedway in general, so that's what we're here for. And special shout out especially to the team of Jamie Hall, our mate Mentl from Hawke's Bay, and Wall as well, who captured some amazing footage. On
side note, like and share our Facebook page. It's at the bottom. Anything you want to talk about, want us to talk about, polls, questions, anything. Comment on our wall, hit us up, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll chuck anything on the show that you want. We'll do whatever you want within reason. I'm not getting naked.
I might.
But stick around, we've got heaps of good stuff for the next show. We'll be heading over to the Hawke's Bay for the Peter Barry Memorial. It's a meeting that's quite important to us in general and a lot of drivers and fans around the country as well. Fucking love you, Peter Barry. Miss you.
My man.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
See yous. You stay classy, San Diego.